Hello and welcome to the Clashing of Steel. So today I am doing a review on Caesar. All of his skills can be used from simple swordsman to the heavy artillery. As usual, I will start off with the skills. The first one is Vedde. It will give you plus 20 melee defense and melee attack. It will affect all allies in the 25-meter radius of the unit you have activated it on, and it will last for 60 seconds. Its upgrades are on melee defense, melee attack, recharge time, duration, and even ground effect modifier. The second skill Caesar has is Vedde. It will give you and your allies movement speed, reduced missile dispersion, reduced artillery reticle expansion rate, and artillery reticle maximum radius. If you do not know what it is, it's the area where heavy artillery shoots. It will reduce its size and zoom in a bit faster. It will affect all allies in 30-meter radius and last for a total of 40 seconds. Upgrades are for its active time, movement speed, artillery reticle rate, and even reload time. And for the final skill, Caesar has Vedde. It will silence all enemy units in 20-meter radius for 20 seconds around the unit you have it activated on. It can be upgraded to reduce movement speed, last longer, have a better cooldown, even area of effect. I'm not sure I pronounced any of these skills correct, but anyways, let's head over to the gameplay. So this is probably one of the more regular positions for the artillery, under the watchtower and the combination of two catapults and sword infantry. With artillery, you are mostly viewing opponents. You aren't going to be hovering over your own units. You want to see what's going down and what are the best positions to strike. The best targets are stacked in a huge pile that you can affect the most. Although if there aren't any stacked units, any units that are formed or armored or really slow and heavy are good for you. The reason why I'm playing one sword infantry is because I'm not sure if anyone will stay and protect me. It is always best if you have a friend you can play a combo with. Someone who can defend you, because cavalry will try to find an opening and harass you as much as they can. You do have to keep an eye on your defenses every now and then, otherwise the cavalry or archers or anyone else who might have snuck through can harass you rather well. Here, I'm actually not that worried. I have stacked my sword infantry into my catapult units, and most of our troops are spread enough for me to be in a comfort position, meaning that everything around me on the minimap seems to be clear. So my concerns are the cavalry, and I have no one to shoot. I could aim for the cavalry, take my lucky shots, but it might not always pay out to shoot in the dark. My main focus is to find armored legionnaires or any type of Germanicus' swordsman, because that is what players usually don't counter or don't know how to counter, and that should be my focus. There is not a lot for me to do here, but I can't push out of it. There is just so many cavalry. I just need to be in a position that I can defend myself. As you see, I'm trying to shoot the opposing cavalry. It is at maximum range and it might not always reach there, but I'm giving my shots because the friendly cavalry is almost dying. And as you see, my range reduced here. I'm using special ammunition, acid smoke. It will reduce my range, but it will leave a cloud of acid that will do damage over time to enemies who stand in it. It is excellent for slow infantry or some units that are fighting in a situation where you have a high chance to hit them without leaving a acid smoke cloud inside your friendly troops. As you see it right now, I'm using it to weaken the opponents that are coming towards me. If they get here, they should be weak enough for me to finish off. Although fortunately, they switched targets. So another focus right now is the cavalry. I want to slow them, I want to stop them from moving. Each catapult hit actually dazes the opponents, it slows their movement speed for a brief period. Also, by seeing that those swordsmen tried to engage me, I have deployed stakes in front of my catapults. It's a precaution, just in case they should engage. I can block this area off with stakes, and then go to the side of my stakes and cover the whole frontal area of my units. But another problem is rising, and those are the cavalry that has sneaked through the north. So I need to deal with it. I can't go on frontal defense and the rear defense. Fortunately, my friendly troops are dealing with them and I only have to cover my rear. But at the same time, I'm leaving the small gap between stakes and the cliff open and the opponents can push through there. I don't want to take a risk for my units to die, but if the archers would have come to my location, I could have actually protected them rather well. But in this type of situation, you want to block off the area where all the opponent's cavalries are fighting. So I'm sending my swordsmen to move next to the stakes. I don't want to let them come through. I don't want to let them come back here again. Now they must go either through the stakes or through my units or go around, meaning that I have bought myself time. Although they can surround me, I can stack all of my units and hope that the sword infantry will do something. As you saw a while ago, a bunch of opponents sneaked past me or behind me into my base. They're capping slowly now. But I can't deal with it. This cavalry is trying to be smart. He's trying to deal with my catapult units. While I am engaged and can't decap, I must send my units to the stakes, hoping that they can't charge into me, because charge is what does the most damage. So I have to deal with the sword infantry while activating my Vedde and Vedde. Vedde to block out their usage of the Vengeance, and Vedde just to give me enough melee defense and offense to take them on. It can be rather hard, or it will take a while to learn how to activate and in what order to activate your skills, because they will affect all of your allies. You need to choose a rotation, use them one by one so that you can use them again. Vedde was active at some points, although I ain't the best at using it because Caesar isn't my main. Vedde is what gave me the best chances to aim for my targets, to hit my targets. In perfect rotation, it can be active on you most of the time, or with very little gaps. Also, upgrades will help you there to reduce its cooldown and make it active 24/7 as long as you want. As you see, my artillery units are fighting the opposing cavalry. When you have nothing else to do or no other options, you can just hold down Alt and send your units in to fight the opponents. That way, your ranged units will engage opponents in melee. So here's another game. I was playing on the Alps. I went for the watchtower as usual, as it is usual for most catapults. You can see that I am using the barricades to cover one of my sides. It takes a lot longer to destroy barricades than it does to take down stakes. That is why one of my catapult units has it, and my sword infantry has the stakes, and the other catapult unit has the acid smoke. What's great about this map is that there's a watchtower in the middle that everybody wants, and if the opponents go there, I know that they are there. I can target them. As you can see, I'm targeting the spearmen. They're coming in rather hot, and I will try to do my best against them. Our cavalry didn't make it, and our units are stacked. They're easy targets for any ranged units. It can be rather hard when you have no one to see, but when you see the opponent's watchtower and you see a red flag upon it, it means that there is something sweet down there. Another sweet thing is coming closer with 3 swords units stacked inside each other. It's just painful to watch. These are the areas where the catapults or any type of ranged units can do the most damage. If I could fire acid smoke that far, it would be a perfect target. This is also the main reason I tell everybody to spread. If you're stacked, you're an easy target, even for most melee infantry. Actually, my team members made a smart move to pull back a bit, because I can't shoot beyond that watchtower. If you can cooperate with your team, you can always tell them what is your range, where you can shoot, where they should position themselves, where is the areas that you can do the harm, where you can fire. Otherwise, you might just be waiting there up on the hill and you have to reposition yourself every now and then to a new location so that you could just fire. So the opponents are actually moving rather close. I can soon switch over to the acid rain. That is what I'm going to use in stacked locations. You can see that my range reduced already. And you can see that the melee infantry is going in for that poor spearmen back there. So, because they're all stacked there, they are the perfect target for my acid smoke. They are going to be fighting there for a while. My acid smoke also reduces the morale, but the spearmen have actually held the line active. It gives them extra morale, and hopefully it will keep them engaged enough for my acid smoke to do enough damage to weaken the opponents so that they can be finished off rather easily. You can just see the damage ticking in. It is huge amounts. Every second they lose like 2% of their army, perhaps even more. It will last for 30 seconds when it hits that location. And when opponents are engaged or they aren't moving, it will do massive amounts of damage, reducing the opponent's health and making them really easy to finish off. As you see right now, I missed my first acid smoke. Although I did not hit the target, they are going to go through it and will receive moderate amounts of damage. Another target seemed to be the swordsmen that are going to fight the spearmen. They're almost stacking in, they're moving in that direction, but I missed my acid smoke and I slightly missed my rock. I was hoping them to move onward. But now I'm finding out another problem, that they're coming towards me. So I'm using my last acid smoke and my regular rocks to weaken them as much as I can. They stack and make it really easy for me to weaken them a lot, because when they get close I want to be in control. And since I have only one unit of swordsmen, I need to be in control. I just need to make them weak enough so that they can't oppose any serious threat. That is actually the main goal of the catapult. You want to weaken opponents. You want to do as much damage as you can. Because you can't probably finish them off, but you can weaken them enough for other units to finish them off. For your team members to give the final blow. Although you can't be aware of your surroundings all the time, you should probably check it every now and then. I usually don't go for the ranged units, but since they were stacked, it paid off really well. The reason I don't go for the ranged units is because they aren't in any formation. I will cause more damage to the infantry units than I will cause it to the ranged units. Those are the units that I can weaken the most. You can see that I'm starting decapping here. It is also another great thing that the catapult can do. You can be far away and just harass everybody who is in your base. You can just decap the opponents, keep the battle going on, or just keep the opponents from winning the game until your friendly troops arrive. There are many ways you can play catapults and Caesar. Here are just few ways I used him. I tried to use the Vedde, Vedde, but since the Caesar isn't my main, it didn't work out always as I planned it. One of my main focuses was not to damage my friendly troops. Although when the spearmen got surrounded, I took the chance with the acid smoke. Because those spearmen were already dead, I wanted to do as much damage as I could. And because the opponents were naive and stacking all of their melee infantry units in there, it was an excellent target. And all the damage that the acid smoke ticked in gave us a huge advantage against our opponents. They were weakened enough, and so they could be finished off. So probably the hardest part to do with the catapult is to cooperate with your team. Because when you're back at your base and your team members push ahead, you most likely won't be able to shoot at anybody. You will just be trying to reposition yourself, trying to move forward, and in the end might get caught by the cavalry or some other units. You can also have some cavalry do scout for you, to scout ahead, to see what's going on in the areas where your troops haven't yet reached. You can try to play different combination of units, different unit types, different consumables. This is just my setup. I prefer to play one swordsman, 2 catapults, and consumables, barricades, stakes and acid smoke. Most games where you might feel useless with catapults are when your teammates push ahead, hoping to force themselves onto opponents. In that situation, they might push so far that the opponents might retreat and you don't have range. There will be a lot of repositioning, and in those games your usefulness can be rather low. So this was it about the review of Caesar with heavy artillery. I actually want to try out if this commander can be useful with melee infantry, because most of his skills affect allies. So I will try to use him as a support. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe and thanks for watching.